Hello everyone! Today is our virtual card class and I have a lot of fun for us today. We are going to be focusing in on the Storybook Garden Patch stamp set, and we're going to be using the dies that coordinate. I'm going to show you how to use them. So I'm so glad you are here. It is a very sunny day today here in Adams, Wisconsin. We had a big snowstorm yesterday and we had that wet, slushy snow, so my internet wasn't working all that great. Out in the country here, our internet is kind of hit or miss, depending on, if the sun is out, a leaf blew past. It's just crazy. But I have a lot of fun for us. We're going to make 3 cards, and I think you're going to love them. So let me just turn you down and we will get crafting. All right. Just turn you down. All right. So here is the Storybook Garden Patch stamp set, and these are the dies, and I think you're really going to enjoy this class. So let me just turn on my comments here so I can see what you all are saying. So if you are joining me live or even during the replay, just let me know that you're watching. Let me know where you're from. Excuse me. Goodness. All right. So these are the dies. They're kind of a hot mess right now because I was playing with them. But you can see you get the dies to cut the basket, the little watering can. You get the die to cut out the strawberries and the carrots. Here's the watering can and the little pots. So we're going to be using these today. So I'm just going to put this on the side and let's get crafting. So here is the first card that we are going to make. Isn't that beautiful? Now these cards that I'm showing you were cased from another friend of mine, and I just love them so much. I just wanted to share them with you. So it's a nice fold. See how that folds up? Kind of like a little easel. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. All right. So we are going to grab our paper. Here, let me move this over. All right. So we have our paper, and what we are going to do is we are simply going to fold this in half to start. Now we are going to start building our card. So we have a bunch of little bits and pieces here. See, I had gone ahead and I die cut some of them, but I am going to show you how to use the dies. So we have this designer paper. Isn't that pretty? So, but I'm going to be using the green side here. So let me grab some adhesive here. And we'll go this way as well, because we are going to be folding. So let's center this right here on the front of our card, just like that. All right, now we want to grab our paper trimmer. We're not going to trim, we are going to score. All right, so the front of the card, we are going to score. Let's see, at 2 3/4. Just like that. I can put this on the side. So yeah, I was a little shocked when I woke up this morning and I found all this snow on the first day of spring. Crazy. All right, so now we have the little fold. Just like that. All right, so let's continue. So we also have another sheet of green, and I die cut this out of the linked together die set. So let me flip this over and we are going to add some adhesive. Now the easier way to do this would have been to lay your cardstock down on a piece of adhesive. and then run it through the die cut machine. So then all you would have had to have done is just peel the backing off. But I did not do that. I always think of it after. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive. And you just want to put a little. You don't want to like gob it on, otherwise it's going to ooze out. So okay, we'll get the edges up here. All right, close that up. And we'll take this and flip it over. We're just going to put that down right on the top, just like that. And we'll flip it over so we can press that all down really well. Now I like using the silicone mat because then the green glue doesn't get like all over. And the reason I call it green glue is because it comes in a green and white bottle. That's all. So we're just going to leave this on the side for right now. And let's get to the rest of our card. So let's take care of the inside because we're going to do some stamping. So we're going to take another sheet of green, and this is a little lighter color, and we are going to stamp. So we're going to grab our little head of lettuce, and we'll grab some mossy meadow, and I'm going to take my silicone mat and just flip it over, and we are going to stamp. Just going to randomly put some lettuce all over. You want to turn your stamp. You're not going to see a whole lot of it, but you're going to see some. You're going to see just enough. And you just need to do the outer edge. All right, so let me clean this off. A little squeaky. All right, we'll put that back. And let me close this up before I get my elbow in it. All right, so we have that. And then next we're going to take our white and just adhere that to our card. And we're just going to put that right in the center. So we created like a nice little background. All right. And let's attach this on the inside. And here's my seal. And let's put that on the inside of our card. So we're working from the inside out today. And center that up. There we go. Now we're going to take a little strip of paper, and I probably could have done this before I closed my ink. So let's just open that up again. We're going to stamp our sentiment. Now, if you notice with this stamp set, there are no sentiments. So I just pulled from whatever I had, and I want to do a birthday card. Everybody needs a birthday card. So I'm going to lay my stamp down and grab my block, juice that up nice, and just stamp it right in the middle of our scrap piece of paper. Clean that off. All right, now I can for sure close it for this card. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to trim this a little bit. Just going to kind of cut the ends off. There's no specific size for this. You're just going to be trimming. And let's get some dimensionals, because we're going to have dimensionals on the inside of our card. All right, so we got that. That over there. And now we kind of want to guess where we want this to go. So we're just going to kind of plan this out, because this is what's going to hold your card open. Okay, so we'll put that like right about there, the bottom section of the card. And then I had gone ahead and I die cut out some of the really pretty flowers. So we're going to just flip that over, and this was from the LinkedIn set, die set as well. So we're just going to flip that over, and I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals. I'm just going to grab a couple. You might hear some thuds. It's the snow falling on my roof off the pine trees that are next to my studio. So if you hear a big scream, that was more than just snow falling on my roof. All right, we're just going to put one right about there. And we'll take the other one and put that there. And then what we're going to do is take some of our embellishments. Yep, we're doing our embellishments in the middle of making a card, but that's all right. All right, so we're just going to take, these are the low profile dots. So I'm just going to put them right in the center to cover up that dimensional. So there's 1, 2, and then we'll grab a bigger one and put 3 over there. All right. Put this on the side. All right, so now we're going to close this up and work on the front part of our card. Okay, so now that this has had a little bit of time to dry, which doesn't really take a whole lot, we're going to assemble the rest of our pieces. All right, so from the LinkedIn die set, I cut this like lattice, and then I also die cut out of some designer series paper these little leaves, stems, leaves. But out of the Storybook Garden dies, I die cut out the watering can, and then there's like this little overlay. And that's going to go right on the top of this. I had already stamped the pots, the clay pots, and I die cut it out. So let's get cracking on these. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the overlay, all right? And we are going to take some Pool Party. Now this is the same color as the paper. So we're just going to open up our blend, and we're going to go over it, and just to color it so it's a little darker, so it doesn't blend in so much with the bottom part of the watering can. I'm going to take a little maneuvering here. You know what? I probably should use my silicone mat. I really don't want to get all the ink on my desk. All right, and when you're using the blends, make sure you go one direction, because if you scribble back and forth, you're going to mess up your tip of your marker. So it might look like I'm going back and forth, but I'm lifting the marker. There. And you can go over this as many times as you want to get the desired darkness. All right, so we got that done. Now, while we have the mat out, we're going to grab our glue again, and we will add a little bit. A little bit goes a long way, but you really want to hit the parts that are like thinner, that are going to stick out a bit. You just want to make sure that's all adhered down. All right. And a little more over here. All right. So then we will take our little pot and we'll flip this over without getting like covered in glue. Probably should have did this card last. All right, and we are just going to line it up. Oh, sorry about that. I can hear my phone going off. All right, so we're just going to put that right over here. Of course, you know, no one texts or calls except when I'm doing a live. All right. So there we go. See how it just stands out a little bit when you add that little bit of color. All right. So we're going to flip these over and add some dimensionals. All right, so we're going to put one there. There's just a little schnivel of a piece. And put one right about there. And then I'm going to grab, oh, I need those still. Some for my clay pot. And I need a little mini dimensional because I want to put it like at the spout. So just like that. Alright, we'll take these little bits off. Did I do that one? Yep, did that and that one. Alright, so now we'll take the backs of our little pot off. Alright, and let's assemble. So you kind of need to do it with two hands because you want to place them how you think they're going to look good. Alright, so we'll put this one right about there, and then we'll take our little watering can and just put it a little lower, just like that. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we are going to just, okay, that is lifted a little bit, so we want to be able to slide these in. Alright, so we are going to take our liquid glue and just put a little bit on there. Alright, now we'll take that and we'll lift this. Just kind of tuck that under. Just like that. We'll do the other big one. So I really like this stamp set. I think it's a lot of fun. It kind of helps you think of the gardening and all that. All right, let's get down in there. There we go. Now, I know I see a little bit of glue sticking up, but that's all right. We're going to fix that. I'm going to cover it up. A couple more of these. Just tuck that in. And see, you don't even see it. Add the other one. Plus the stuff dries clear, so we're all good. Alright, so take that one in. Put that one kind of hanging over. Alright, now we'll push that one down. There we go. Now, what we want to do is we want to take this piece and add it to our card base. Now, we don't want to glue the whole back because otherwise it won't pop up. So we're just going to kind of place it a little bit here. Put our finger to mark where we don't want the glue or where we want the glue. And we're just going to take our, getting towards the end of my adhesive. All right. So then, whoop, I'll lay this flat and reposition. There we go. And then our card opens up just like that. Isn't that adorable? Okay, we are not quite done yet. So we're going to take some of this white ribbon. This is the white woven ribbon. Say that really fast. And we're just going to tie a little bow. And So you got to kind of play a little tug and pull here to get your ribbon, your bow, how you would like it. And I kind of want it a little flatter, so I'm not going to pull it too tight. There we go. We'll grab some mini glue dots. It's sticking to my fingers because of that liquid glue. All right. So grab a dot, and here's another dot. Grabbing two because it is a little thicker ribbon. Oh, and I totally put it on the wrong side. All right, back side, here we go. And then we will just put this like right about here. All right, so here is card number 1. Isn't that fun? I love how it folds up like that. You have plenty of room to write whatever it is you would like to write in there. I think that's so fun. All right, so I hope you like that one. All right, let me put this one on the side, and then we'll go on to card number 2. All right, so this is card number 2. So thankful. Just a nice, clean looking card. And this is what we're going to make. All right, so we have our cardstock, and we're just going to fold this in half. Easy peasy. Getting that glue all over. Close this, get that thing out of the way. All right, so we got that. Now I already have some pieces here. This is what we're going to be using. So let's grab our designer paper with that same floral. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. Just like that. And we're going to put that like right around the center. Center-ish. All right. So now we will grab our plain white cardstock again, and we are going to attach this to the center. It's going to go just right in the center like this. Ish. Okay, that didn't center very good, did it? Alright, but we'll go with it for now, because it won't let me peel it up. Alright, so now then we will take our, you know what, let's do our sentiment. And where did my ink go for that? Oh, let's see, I need my real red. And a So Thankful stamp. So let's see here. So Thankful. Is there one in the? Oh, yep. There's one in the beautiful butterflies. So grab that. We'll grab our little block. And you know, this really bothers me. So I don't know if we can get this up without ripping it. Oh, maybe, because the placement of that was just really bothering me. All right, so let's try and center this a little better. There we go. That is better-ish. All right, so just mush that down. Let's re-ink our stamp. And there is our sentiment. Nice and simple. So use what sentiments you have. You don't have to use the exact same ones, but I really encourage you to think about the Storybook garden stamp set, because it is just adorable. Absolutely adorable. So let's move this down just a bit so you can kind of take a better look at the stamp set. There we go. All right, so then what we are going to do is grab our white ribbon, Oh, we're getting down to the end of it. All right, so we are going to tie a knot. So you don't always have to do a bow. You can do a knot. Knots are simple, except when I'm trying to do them on a Facebook Live. So you're going to hold it down, you're going to pull it tight, and then we're going to tie our second knot carefully. Carefully. All right, we'll pull that through, and there's our knot, and now we'll just trim. So we don't need long little bits, so we're just going to trim them a little shorter. All right, and now we are going to move this to one side of the card, and we're going to try and get it to the edge as much as we can. I'm going to center this and just try and slide it over. All right, so then what we will do is, seeing as we've already done this, I'm going to add just some little dabs of glue because it kind of curled from when we tried to peel it open. So we got that, and we'll hold that down. This will make it look so much better. There's that, we'll hold that for a second. And where else is it popping up? Right over here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do is add some dimensionals. We're just going to use the regular dimensionals. 4 corners. Oh, that liquid glue just gets everywhere, doesn't it? All right, so let's add this to our card. We're just going to center it. Over just a tad. There we go. Now, what we're going to do, and we probably should have done this earlier so it has some time to dry. So we are going to color our embellishments. So we're going to take a real red, the dark real red, and we're going to color some of the dots. I'm just going to color, because it dries to it wonderfully, which is nice. Okay, so we'll just put this on the side and work on the rest of it and come back to it. All right, so now what we want to do is take our oval and add some dimensionals and add it to our card. We do three dimensionals. All right, I'll put that right in the center. All right, so we're going to take this scrap piece and we're going to stamp. So let's see here, I need the strawberries, and then I need the little basket. All right, so we'll put the strawberries on here, and the basket. We'll do that in just a moment. So I need my black, my Memento black, and we will stamp 2 strawberries. There's 1, 2. Clean that off, and then we will stamp our little basket. Put this back in here. All right, and our little basket. Okay, now we are going to color. So you can use your watercolor pencils, you can use your regular markers. I'm going to use my blends. So let me move the black out of the way. So I'm going to use the dark Real Red. We're going to color in our strawberries. This goes super quick. A little squeaky of the marker. There we go. We got the 3 there. Let's get these 3. Yeah, coloring with these blends, it goes nice and quick. All right. Then I'm going to grab my light old olive. I'm just going to go over the whole leaf, just like that. And then we're going to come back in with the dark. So you could do the dark first, you could do the light first. It's whatever you feel like. Normally I would do the dark. So we'll do that on the next one. So then we'll grab the dark. We're just going to go over some of these lines. To do some of the highlighting. Okay, so that was doing the light first and then the dark. And let's see if we get a little different look with going dark first. All right, so we did the dark. Let's go over it with the light. Color in the little tops of the strawberries. There we go, almost finished. Gonna blend that in a little. There we go. So you pretty much get the same look. All right, let's grab our embossing machine here, the die cut machine. All right, so we need our plates. So we'll put our first plate down, we'll put our second plate down, and then we'll line up our strawberries. So where did I put the dies? They are here somewhere. Here they are. All right, let's find the one for the strawberries. I believe this is it. So I'll just put that on top. Now I like to use like a little post-it note, and that kind of helps hold it. All right, I'm gonna run this through. Goes through fairly simple. And there's our piece. Now let's do the next one. And line that up. I keep hearing all these things falling outside. All that snow. And we're supposed to have like 50, 60-degree weather the next day or so. And then back to some more snow on Sunday. Have to love spring in Wisconsin. It's like we go from like super wintry to super hot summer. There's like hardly any in between. All right, so now before we die cut this, we're going to color it. So I'm using crumb cake, using the dark first. And I'm just gonna do a couple light little marks here with the dark crumb cake. We'll do the handle in the dark. All right, I'll grab the light. I'll just lightly go over it. let's get the die out for that. That on our little board here. Now, if you don't have Post-it notes, people have used adhesive, like for bandages and stuff. The white tape, I've seen them use that. I've seen them use that washi tape. I just like, because when there's back to school sales, I can get the little notepads fairly inexpensively. I don't know if that was a word, but all right. So we'll put this on the side. I think we're done with that for now. These are pieces. And let's put the rest of our card together. All right, so we're going to flip these little guys over, add our dimensionals. All right, so one there, one right there, one in the center there. Ooh, that wanted to come with me. I get a dimensional that's stuck with the other little piece. There we go. All right, so let's add our basket. So we'll add our basket right here, right about there. And then we'll fill in with our strawberries. I kind of want to make it like they're sitting in the little basket here. Let's go this way first. Tuck that there. And we'll just lift that just a tad. Here we go. And now remember we colored those dots, so let's get those on. We can grab, take your pick tool, because they've had the time to dry. So we're just going to grab and then we'll add. You could always do like another coloring of it if you want them darker. All right, so here is card number 2. Isn't that cute? Really cute, love it. All right, so card number 3. This is card number 3. Isn't this cute? I just love the little little rake type thing. And then we have some lettuce. Isn't that cute? All right. So I kind of pre-cut out some of our pieces here. All right, so let's move our little bits. So we have our pool party. We're going to fold this in half. And then I have that designer series paper again, and I cut different lengths of it, and you'll see why in just a little bit. Let's grab our adhesive. I'll put that right in the center. That glue just gets everywhere, doesn't it? Just like that. Now we're going to take our designer paper. Now this is from the plaid designer paper. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Where did I put them? Here they are. And 4. And 4. All right, we'll take this and then we'll center this. Just like that. Now we're going to grab that other piece of designer series paper and we're going to put it over the top. And it's just going to line up with the other one that's behind it. Here we go. You are going to have a little overhang, but that's all right. Okay. So now what we are going to do is the stamping and the die cutting. All right, so I had already die cut our little pot. We're going to add some adhesive to it. I'm just going to grab a little bit of the glue here. And I should have grabbed my silicone mat. Slide that over and let's put this on. Just going to attach it. Alright, hold that down for a second. Now I'm going to grab my dark crumb cake. And I'm just going to kind of go over like the ring part of this. Just to kind of make it a little darker. Just to give it a little zhuzh. I think I might use this end. There we go. That will blend a little better. And when it dries, it will lighten up a little bit. So you could put on as little or as much as you want. So you can see how it's already kind of lightening up. Let's put a little shading here at the bottom. There we go. Once that dries, it'll look super cool. All right. So now we need that lettuce again. So we're going to grab the lettuce. We need 2 of those. And we need our Mossy Meadow ink. So we're stamping Mossy Meadow ink onto Mossy Meadow paper. And where did I set my stamps up? That's where my stamp down. Okay, I literally just had it in my hand. There it is. Goodness. All right, we're going to do 2 of them. There's 1 and 2. And we're going to die cut those out. Just a moment. Put this back. All right, now we want our little, was it a rake maybe? All right, we're going to grab our black. And I have a piece of white, so we're going to grab our white paper. There we go, nice and clean. Love it. Okay, now we're going to color. Color, color, color. I don't think I need the black anymore, so we're going to put this away. And color. So we're going to grab our dark smoky slate. We'll color the handle in. And then the tines on the rake. Fill that in. And we will grab our crumb cake, color the handle, there we go, and now let's die cut this out. I'm just going to cut this a little bit to make it a little smaller so I can hopefully fit all of them on. So we have our little rake, and we have that. I gotta look for my dies again. So here's the lettuce, here's the rake, and let's grab some Post-its. Alright, so we're just gonna line this up. Just like that. And then we'll line up one of the lettuce, heads of lettuce. So is that how that goes? Like that. That didn't stick, did it? Let's grab another Post-it. might need to use 2. All right. Let me just run this through real quick. Another plate. There we go. We made our little sandwich. And let's see how they turned out. Okay, he turned out really good. And let's go to the next one. Let's see, how did our lettuce do? How did Mr. Lettuce do? Okay, well, Mr. Lettuce turned out okay, I guess. All right, let's try and line this one up. Let's see, so the flat part is right about there. It must have moved, the first one must have moved slightly. Make our sandwich. And let's run this through. There we go. Get this out of the way again. And there's our other little lettuce. I want to make sure I take the die off. Don't want to accidentally pitch that. That would be bad. That would be bad. All right. So let's put the rest of this guy together. All right, so here's what we have so far. And you can always put what you would like on the inside of the card. All right, so we have our little pot, we have our lettuce, we have our little rake, pitchfork. So let's stamp our sentiment. So for this, I'm using the Hugs for Love, and we will use the sentiment here. Get the other one. And this is Life is Better with You. And we'll grab the pool party so it coordinates with the rest of the card. There we go. Clean this up. And now we don't want to just have this. We want to use another part here. Let's do this one. So this is a part of the Hugs for Love, so we'll just lay that flat. Grab a big enough block to pick it up. And we got our pool party. Let's stamp that down, give it a little nice little push. Okay, so that looks a little wonky, so it's laying funny on here. So we're going to fix that. Okay, we're going to take it off, and we're just going to let it fall and pick it up again. Juice it up. We'll restamp it. Much better. All right, so let's punch that out. And we're using the punch that coordinates. I forget the name of it, but it's the punch that coordinates. All right, so let's see, I need to trim this down just a bit so I can fit it in there. Piece we don't need. So we're going to take it. I like to punch my stuff upside down so I can see how it's all lining up. And we're just going to line it up. There we go. And, oh, don't want that to fall. All right. So now let's put the rest of the card together. So this we're going to lay flat. So I'll just grab some seal. There we go. And we'll put that around the top-ish part of the card. There we go. Now our little pot, we want to add some dimensionals. Do 1 and 2. Our lettuce needs some dimensionals. All right, let's put these on, and then we'll get our little pitchfork on there. So this we'll put right about here, kind of on an angle. All right, now we want to have, let's grab the weird head of lettuce, and we'll kind of tuck that in down there so you really won't even tell. There we go, we got that. And we'll put a little head of lettuce right here at the bottom. And now let's attach our sentiment. We can't forget about that. And we'll put that right about here. Well, let's see, we could, no, I don't want to tuck that under. There we go. Now our pitchfork. All right, we'll put a big one at the bottom, and then we'll grab one of the mini dimensionals and put that on the handle, just like that. All right, and we'll put that just right on the side. There we go. And I'm going to use this really pretty ribbon. I think this is so pretty. It's petal pink, and it has like a scalloped edge. I don't know if you can see that. But we're just going to tie a bow. Let's make it a little smaller. There we go. Trim the edge. Make this side just a little smaller. I think I have to sharpen my scissors. There we go. Sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. Now let's grab our mini glue dots. And so we'll put that right about there. And then we'll put our little bow right there. All right. Oh, you know what? We forgot our embellishments. So, where did my take a pic tool go? There it is. We'll grab a bigger one, maybe. And there, and some smaller ones. There we go. Now it's finished. All right. So these are the cards that I have for you today. So let me tell you a little bit about what I have going on here. So we used the garden, or the Storybook garden. We made these super cute cards, and grab the other ones. There's those. And then here's that one that was just super cute. Let's move that over here. That one down. All right, so here's the deal. You can get this fantastic card class for free. I do